Ponteland, P̒nt'iঃlnd, is a parish in Northumberland, situated 61 kilometres south of the nearest Scottish border crossing with Scotland and 15 kilometres north of Newcastle upon Tyne, England. The name means island in the pond, named for the river that flows through the village. Ponteland's first settlement concentrated around solid ground within the marshland near St. Mary's Church and the Old Bridge. Most of Ponteland's marshland is now drained to make way for housing. The river Pont flows from west to east and joins the river Blythe further downstream, before flowing into the North Sea. During the industrial era, Pônteland village enlarged to include residential developments in Darras Hall. It is home to many of the region's footballers and CEOs and is part of the North East's only safe Conservative parliamentary seat. History. There has been nearly 1,000 years of Christian worship in Pônteland. This traditionally concentrated around St. Mary's the Virgin, the prominent Church of England church near Ponteland's village green. St. Mary's traces its first construction to the Norman period in the 12th century and is still an active church. Ponteland has parish registries dating from 1602 and has been recorded in bishops' transcripts as an important place of religion since 1762. Fuller details of Ponteland's varied church records are available through the Northumberland Collections Service. Christian worship in Ponteland has expanded to other denominations in recent centuries. The Ponteland Methodist Church opened in 1841. An 1848 review appreciated Ponteland also hosted places of worship for Scottish Presbyterians and a Wesleyan chapel. In 1867, an Anglican sister church to St. Mary's opened in Milbourne, one of the Ponteland's wards. In 1884, a Catholic church was established at St. Matthew's, now part of the Hexham Newcastle Catholic Diocese. During the 20th century, a United Reformed Church opened in Darras Hall. Reflecting Ponteland's proximity to Scotland, it has suffered, sometimes enjoyed, several effects from Anglo-Scots conflict and the unclear Anglo-Scottish border. Owing to the asymmetric north-south line of the border, Ponteland lies north of important Scottish towns such as Gretna Green, Stranraer, and Kirkcudbright. Much of Dumfries and Amp Galloway, one of Scotland's border counties, lies south of Ponteland. In the 13th century, Ponteland narrowly escaped conflict when the Treaty of Newcastle ensured a last-minute peace between Scottish and English forces. The treaty bears the name of Ponteland's nearest city but was actually signed in the village. During the 14th century, Ponteland was less fortunate. Scottish forces destroyed part of Ponteland Castle, as prelude to the Battle of Otterburn in 1388. Otterburn is 20 miles to the west of Ponteland. Taking advantage of English distractions in the Hundred Years' War with France, 1337 to 1453. This battle saw a decisive defeat for English forces and the expansion of Scottish influence in Ponteland's Middle Ages experience. One fortunate outcome continues to the current era. While Ponteland Castle was never rebuilt as a military stronghold, it transformed into a public house. Known as the Blackbird, this still serves the Ponteland community, nearly 700 years after the destruction of its original purpose. During the 20th century, parts of Darras Hall were used as a prisoner of war camp in the Second World War. The camp was designated number 69 of several hundred camps across Britain and held Italian and German prisoners of war. Reflecting post-war growth of the village, a state secondary school opened in 1972, the Ponteland High School. The affluent housing estate of Darras Hall is a popular choice for many of the Northeast's wealthy residents and many people associated with Newcastle United Football Club. club live in the parish, including Alan Shearer, Peter Beardsley, Stephen Taylor, George Hall and Terry McDermott. In December 2005, Darris Hall received considerable media attention when a convicted rapist moved to the estate after purchasing a house with his National Lottery winnings. For months after purchasing his house, he was bombarded with threats and constant media exposure. In the early 21st century, an expanding Ponteland and the adjoining Darris Hall homed approximately 11,000 people. It secured town status within Northumberland. Ponteland has notable green belts surrounding it, and has been identified by Northumberland Council for development. Potential plans, yet to be gazetted, include relocating the town's schools and library to make space for more homes. Ponteland itself may be upgraded to a main town within Northumberland. Notable landmarks. Ponteland is notable for a ruined Pele Tower, its bridge, and its 4 churches: St. Mary's, St. Matthew's, Ponteland Methodist Church and Ponteland United Reformed Church. St. Mary's churchyard includes the Grade II listed 18th-century tombstones of Matthew Forster and William Turnbull. Ponteland previously boasted a small castle, a tower house, which was largely destroyed by the Scottish Army under the Earl of Douglas, the day before the 1388 Battle of Otterburn. The remains were incorporated into the building now occupied by the Blackbird Inn, which is rumoured to contain an old tunnel connecting it to St. Mary's Church across the road. The tunnel was supposedly bricked up behind the fireplace in the tunnel room. A plaque outside the Blackbird records. Ponteland first appeared in the national history in the 13th century, when the feuds between the kings of England and Scotland were in full spate. The signing of a peace treaty between Henry III of England and Alexander of Scotland took place on the knoll of the marshes where the Blackbird stands today. The castle on this site was destroyed in 1388 during the Scottish retreat from Newcastle. On the outskirts of Ponteland is another public house with vintage links to Scotland. This marks an occasion during the Jacobite Rising of 1745, where Scottish armies advanced into England to further claims to the English throne. During this incursion, Charles Edward Stuart, popularly Bonnie Prince Charlie, bathed at a Ponteland public house. Marking this occasion, the house is still called the Highlander, one of the oldest houses, or farms at the time, in the Darris Hall area is Little Callerton House, the old mill, the house where Alan Shearer used to live, and various other dwellings in the area belonged to Little Callerton House, which is approximately 450 years old. On the edge of the estate at High Callerton, Rebellion House is a 16th-century basalt, altered and extended in the 17th century. Demography. Ponteland Parish is home to 10,921 people, or 3% of the Northumberland population of 316,000. Of particular note, significantly more Ponteland residents live in detached housing versus Northumberland County overall. 65% of Ponteland Parish residents are detached home residents versus 25% of Northumbrians. Ponteland also has significantly more ethnic minorities than Northumberland on average, probably because it is situated next to Newcastle Airport. In Ponteland, 8.3% of the population are non-white British, compared with only 2.8% for Northumberland. Amazingly, this makes the town more ethnically diverse than Gateshead, which has the largest concentration of foreign people in Tyne and way outside Newcastle. Ponteland also has double the percentage of Asian people compared with the town. However, this does mean that Ponteland has a smaller percentage of black people and mainland Europeans compared with Gateshead. Ponteland has the lowest white British population out of any town in Northumberland, with only 10,004 out of the 10,921 residents being of that group. Economy. Ponteland residents particularly active in commercial and financial services in northern England, southern Scotland, and the wider European Union. The parish benefits from its proximity to Newcastle International Airport, which is the 10th busiest in the United Kingdom and operates frequent flights to London Heathrow, several European capitals, and North America. Ponteland residents are more likely than Northumbrians to be managers, directors and senior officials, or in the professions or associate professions. Ponteland has 58% such individuals versus 38% in Northumberland overall. Education. By the early 21st century, Ponteland had achieved eminent and sought-after status for its schooling opportunities, hosting 5 state schools within the parish, neighbouring presence to several independent schools within 10 miles, and close to 5 boarding schools within 100 miles. State schools. The parish hosts 2 first schools, the Ponteland First School and the Darras Hall First School, 2 middle schools, the Ponteland Middle School and the Richard Coates Church of England Middle School. There is also 1 high school for 13 to 18-year-olds, the Ponteland High School. This educates 1,100 teenage students from Ponteland and its surrounding communities. Independent schools. Ponteland is very close to several independent schools. These include the Dame Allen's Union of Independent Schools and the Westfield School for Girls. Both are only 7 miles from Pænt'iঃlnd. The Royal Grammar School in Jesmond is the Northeast's longest established independent school, and the Newcastle High School for Girls, the amalgamation of the former Church High and Central High Girls' schools, are both 9 miles from Pænt'iঃlnd. Boarding schools. Ponteland is within 100 miles of several prominent British boarding schools. They include, to the north, Loretto School in Musselburgh, Scotland, which is 92 miles away. The boys-only Merchiston Castle School in Edinburgh is 98 miles away, and Fettes College, Edinburgh, is 99 miles away. To the south, Ponteland is within 11 miles of Mowden Hall School in Stocksfield, Northumberland, and Barnard Castle School in County Durham is 48 miles away. Amenities. Ponteland's retail and commercial amenities concentrate around the village main street, the nearby industrial estate, and Broadway, the small commercial zone serving Darras Hall. 2 major supermarket chains have stores in the village. Several banks also operate on Main Street. The Northumbria Police Force headquarters is just north of Ponteland. Transport. Ponteland was once served by a branch line of the North Eastern Railway from Newcastle upon Tyne, including a short spur to Darras Hall. Plans to electrify the line were abandoned in 1907, however, and the spur line lost passenger services in 1929 when volume fell below expectations. However, a substantial part of Ponteland's railway connections have been resurrected as part of the Tyne and Weir metro system to serve Newcastle Airport. Country walks. Reflecting its rural surroundings, Ponteland has several country walks. Local community leaders have identified 6 prominent country walks within the parish. These concentrate around Ponteland Park and include a walk from the Diamond Inn to Kirkley and from Medburn to the Highlander Inn. Ponteland is also identified as a walking destination by the Northumbria Ramblers. Public houses. Ponteland has 3 functional public houses: the 7 Stars, the Blackbird and the Diamond Inn. Sports. Ponteland United, the local football club. Ponteland Cricket Club, the local cricket club. Ponteland RFC, the local rugby union club.